Tom King represents the worst of all of DC and Marvel comics. If you look at what he's done with everything he's ever touched, he turns everything into a nihilistic, depressing mess. And that's why I'm so livid over what he's doing to Supergirl. And then that's going to be used as the film adaptation that's going to, of course, color Supergirl for years to come. Now, James Gunn has stated that Tom King is one of the chief architects of his DC universe that he's building here, which is really, really a bad thing. And we're going to go over several examples of what Tom King has done right now and why this should never be allowed and never have been printed in the comics to begin with. But on top of it, we really shouldn't go into the movies because this is what the DC universe is going to become under this situation. It's just a complete disaster, and this is anti-heroism. It's taken the Alan Moore Watchmen concept of the flawed heroes who are all messed up and whatever that people really liked because it was so new and fresh when he did it, even though it really wasn't. And it's taken it to the nth degree where it's just impossible to even want to read. So let's get into the news in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things comics and comics culture here. This is a big deal with what DC's doing with the movies. Like I said, Tom King's a chief architect here, and we need to make a change in comics, my friends. And so that's what we're doing all the way around. My name's John Delarose, and I am a comic creator. I've been making several graphic novels. I've actually got over 30 or 40 different graphic novels I've written. So I'm a much more prolific indie creator than you find out there in general, because if you look at the way Marvel and DC do things, they put out books monthly, and a lot of those guys in Image Comics and the like have monthly books, and so they stack up hundreds and hundreds of issues worth of comics over their careers. Now with Kickstarter and the like, a lot of people who do independent comics, you get one book a year. You know, you get some people who don't even put out their book over 3 or 4 years. Boy, Zach. Ethan Van Sciver. And they actually don't care about creating comics. And what we need for a real alternative to Marvel and DC is somebody who's actually out there really being prolific and producing. Now, what I've seen is that the webcomic model is a much healthier community than from what I find from Marvel and DC shops, which rely on fear of missing out of like the all-new #1 first issue variant. Which, you know, it's like they relaunch these every year with an all-new #1 to try to gin up these collectors, and nobody's actually reading the comics out there. Same thing with some of the indie comic scenes. They do these like 48-hour variant covers to get you on FOMO of these collectors things, which is really just a boomer setup, which of course ruined the comic industry and collapsed it with normal people and left it to the point where it's at now, where, you know, it's just Tom King, right? And so we have to do something different, and we're trying to build this much like the webcomics do. Now, people put out books and put out stuff for free so that you can get in on reading first, and that's what I'm trying to do, cultivate comic readers first. And then you see it, you like it, I earn your support, and then you want to support me as a patron. You want to help me produce these so they can keep coming out. And I also give some exclusive stuff for, of course, paid subscribers. We've got 2 different comics going right now, Astromancer and Extrasensory, so that you can have a bunch of extra comics every month. I come out with more content than anybody else and beautiful stories. Now, I'm going to get into my storytelling ethos as I talk about Tom King stuff, which is the opposite of Tom King. I believe in real heroes. I believe in aspirational heroes. I believe in great characters that differentiate from one another. And Tom King just turns every character into this depressed, drunken, hateful character. It's the same thing over and over and over again with him. And that's what you got to do differently as an artist, is you got to do different things. Everything's a little bit different in my world because I don't like writing the same thing twice. I'm an artist at heart. So check this out. It's in the description below. This is my Substack, guys. And like I said, you can sign up for free, read the comics every day. If you want to support, I got a bunch of paid subscribers over the last couple days, so thank you so much for supporting. You can do that too. It's only $5 a month, and it helps me create comics. And you look, I've seen magazines out there that you get, there's people with like 1,000 Patreon subscribers and things like that. And you get that built like that, we can do amazing things. And we're already doing amazing things, but it's only going to get better with your support. So please hit this, grab it in the description below. Thank you so much for signing up for the Substack and supporting Real Comics. Let's get back to this. All right, so I'm showing off some of this Tom King stuff. One, this is one of the most annoying tropes. This all started with Brian Michael Bendis, if you don't know, where he just like had his artist draw the same panel like 9, 12, 15 times, where they move slightly. Artists love this because they can copy and paste, and they don't even have to like draw a real page here. And it's just a painful layout, and it's just so boring to look at. It's boring visually, and it's just a back and forth. And I see you hate our father. You hate our father. True or false? Fine, true. You hate me, true or false? True. You hate New Genesis, true or false? True. You hate Apocalypse, true or false? So, by the way, this is based on Jack Kirby's New Gods. Now, if you ever read Jack Kirby's New Gods, beautiful work, some of the finest and most interesting dynamics in all of the DC universe. And Tom King takes it and he turns Mr. Miracle into this depressed, crazy person, right? And that's what he does every single time. He hates everything, right? He's a nihilist. You hate your life, true or false? True. You hate yourself, true or false? True. You hate God, true or false? True. I mean, this is the hero that you're supposed to be following, this character in this series. Now, it gets even crazier in this as the character actually commits suicide because of all this. Now, if you read Tom King's Batman, it didn't go to that extreme. Bruce Wayne didn't commit suicide or anything like that. But you start reading it, and Batman's sitting moping in his Batcave, crying to himself about just like how he isn't effective. Everything just goes and nothing changes. Well, yeah, I mean, that all comes back to like the we don't kill hero thing, which is stupid. But and then all these women go out and put on bat suits and go out there and fight the fight for him instead because he's too depressed. And that's what Tom King does every single time with everything. And so this is a disaster to build the DC universe again because, again, you're ruining your heroes. These are deconstructions of the heroes. These are demotivations of the heroes. These are somebody taking the hero and twisting it so it's a depressed, nihilistic sort of thing. So you got Batman, you got Mr. Miracle. We got even more. Here's the Supergirl that you're going to see in the James Gunn situation. You've already seen it partially in the Superman movie, where you've got this drunken party girl out here, and this is where she comes from. I'm going to throw up. Sorry. And this is how Supergirl opens in Tom King's sort of run here. And this is not Supergirl. This is not somebody who's, the best of society, trying to live up to her cousin Kal-El, but being feminine in the same. This wasn't it. I wasn't wearing this. You're not supposed to see it. And then she vomits in a bucket. It's like, that's Supergirl? That's what we're going to... Oh, it's so real. It's so realistic. It is? I mean, this is not a good comic book whatsoever, and it should not be adapted into a movie, which is happening right now. Very terrible. And so then you get into Wonder Woman. It gets even weirder with Tom King's Wonder Woman here. I covered this. I wish more people would have covered this because it's creepy. And then look at this little kid who's dying of cancer, and this whole issue she spends with this kid dying of cancer, and he goes, I think there's something wrong with me. What is it? Do you need to go to a hospital? Well, I mean, yeah, there is something wrong with him. He's dying of cancer. No, it's not like that. It's been so much fun today. It's like, all I wanted to, I don't think this is what I should be, what I like. I'm glad you had fun. I wish you could be more. You are a good boy. You deserve so much more. This is such bad dialogue. No, it's not. It's that. It's my dad, the other kids. I'm like, this is so much, and shouldn't I like Superman and Batman and baseball and stuff? Like normal stuff for a boy? Why is this good? Uh-oh. Is it because I'm sick inside? And is that why God made me sick? Oh, Jack, my darling boy, there's nothing wrong with you. So Jack has these feelings like he wants to be a woman, even as he's dying of cancer as a kid. And Wonder Woman grooms him with his. She whisks him off away from his parents and grooms him into gender identity politics. Right, as he's blaming God. You notice this? God is bad. God is bad. God is bad. Look at this. I mean, It's a trend, and this is very, very subversive writing, and this is exactly why it's being promoted. If you think that James Gunn's some good guy who's just making fun action movies, you are very, very wrong. The guy's laden with agenda with everything he's done. There's a reason that he's been put into place into these sorts of films at this point, and it's never good when it's with Hollywood. It's always taking the ticket. And Guy Gardner's another one. I mean, we saw in the movie, again, a Guy Gardner sort of weird thing that looked really like, Lurch or whatever, with Nathan Fillion. And here it is. Guy Gardner's an obsessive ex-lover. He then had Ice and Human Target murder him. After murdering him, the two immediately fornicate. The dude's a sicko. This is Tom King. He should be banned from the comic book industry. Everything's about degeneracy. Everything's about this kind of nihilism. Everything's about deconstructing and destroying heroes through this stuff, and it's the opposite of what comic books and DC Comics should be. We need superheroes that are real again. We need heroes that actually are something to aspire to again. We need positive stories again, and these companies can't do this because they don't have real morality. That's where it comes down to at the end of the day. If you don't have a real basis in objective truth, in the truth that Jesus Christ died for our sins. There's forgiveness and redemption in that if you accept and believe in him. You can't really have a superhero story because that superheroic and miracles and the like is all based on Christian tradition. So that's what we're bringing back, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little primer on what's happening with Tom King. It's a destruction of the DC universe, very much not good stuff, and we're doing something different. This is the place to get in. Grab the Substack, sign up today, start reading, my friends. We got Flying Sparks. You got 2 full issues already. We got some behind-the-scenes commentaries. I show you exactly how deep the writing is in all of this, in every panel, what matters in this. Because it's a big deal, and I spent a lot of just hard work writing these books, and there's even more coming, guys. There's exclusive comics. There's more. Become a patron today. Sign up in the description below. Of course, I love the paid members. Thanks so much for building this, guys. And we're going to build a better future of comic books by doing this, making it about the stories first, and we're doing this with real storytelling, something DC and Marvel have forgotten. Thanks for being here. We'll be back.